Tonight, we continue to rave about why Silo on Apple TV is the greatest show ever made. Then we'll talk about Strange New Worlds and how they made adult Star Trek. No, not that kind. And then conclude with more Star Trek. All this right now on The Writer Brothers. And welcome back to the Writer Brothers Tuesday Night Live show. I am your host, Petey York, joined, of course, by Mr. Corione, Witch in Residence, Mr. Skogly Jotun, upcoming YouTube artist, guy with actual talent, and also another hack and failed attempt at life, just like me, Mr. Pollo Zapatos. Gentlemen, welcome to a very exciting episode of The Writer Brothers. We've got actually a lot to talk about and only so much time to do it because guess what? We're still a 2-hour show here. We tried to do 3 hours and we're not there yet. But we're getting there and we're figuring it out. In fact, we might end up having to decide on a Silo special this week on this very show tonight. So think about that, panelists, in the back of your mind, because Silo ends this week and we're taking the 4th off, so yeah. We're gonna get into some Paramount news. Corione, I think we'll go ahead and switch up. We'll do what I said opposite behind the scenes. We'll actually start with your piece and right. And go from there. So what have you got for us?
Well, we've been hearing a lot of rumors lately that Netflix is seriously considering buying Paramount in order to more or less get back a lot of the catalog it lost when the streaming wars started. It's no industry secret that Paramount Plus has been probably the biggest loser in the streaming wars so far. It's hemorrhaging money, it's costing Paramount significant money, and it hasn't really gotten anywhere yet.
Actually, I'd say it's probably rivaled by Disney Plus's absolute failure this year, too.
I mean, yeah, it's absolutely getting close to it. Like, Disney Plus has had some successes, but Paramount Plus has, as of yet, to score a success.
Yeah, there was definitely the morbid curiosity with The Mandalorian, but, I mean, at the same time, it should have been a 3-hour movie. Anyway.
So Netflix is looking at the possibility of having been the original instigator of the streaming wars, and possibly at the end there can only be one of the streaming wars. It's kind of Highlandering all the other streaming services back under its umbrella, if rumors can be believed, which would be, I think, at this point, a net win for anybody who's actually interested in watching streaming stuff, because let's be honest, nobody wants to buy 15 different streaming services. We all want to just buy one and call it done. And this may be the start to bringing them all back under one banner if Netflix can successfully remerge Paramount Plus in. So it's still a lot in the air. There's still a lot of rumor about this. Nothing concrete has come out. There's been a few whistleblowers who have kind of come forward and said, yes, this is being looked at, but we don't have anything concrete yet. But still, I thought it was an interesting piece to start with, guys.
Well, I mean, if a certain Star Trek property shows up on Netflix, since it's already been taken down, for those of you who did not know, well, let's go around the room real quick. Has anybody here actually watched Star Trek Prodigy?
I've watched first 6 or 7 episodes. It's quite good.
Okay, so we have an opinion that
it's gorgeous.
6 or 7 episodes is good, gorgeous.
I'm working on it.
I didn't watch a single episode. I figured Star Trek Kids show, I'm going to let it ride a couple of seasons and then see if it does turn out to be Clone Wars good. And well, as I'd seen it, I never really heard anything bad about it, aside from just some people saying, hey, it wasn't for me, I didn't like it, which doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. It just doesn't mean it's...
people are just like, it's a cartoon.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Rebels is also a cartoon. Good. It's also better than all of live-action Star Wars.
A lot of people
live-action show Star Wars.
I mean, look, for me, it didn't really seem like it was for me. It really felt like something that belonged on, like, I don't know, Fox Kids in the 90s. Which, I mean, definitely has its place, don't get me wrong, and I do think it's a good idea to expand the Star Wars universe out to touch different age group, or Star Trek universe.
But I agree with that statement of Star Wars as well. There should be adult Star Wars.
There should be grown-up Star Wars, there should be kids Star Trek, there should be all of this, right? Like, I have no problem with that. And I do think it's a good idea to expand into that direction. It just didn't seem like it was something that I would watch. But the fact that Paramount is so badly hemorrhaging money right now, a leasing of their IP to Netflix potentially could save them a lot of money and pull them out of the very deep dark hole they're in right now.
Well, and we all know that, the quality of how Netflix runs this programming speaks for itself. I mean, I certainly didn't care for Stranger Things after season 3, but I know other people did like it and it changed, and hey, you know what? Great, good for you. I'm just not... Same reason I'm not going back to Star Trek Discovery even to watch the final season is because it just wasn't doing it for me anymore.
I gotta see what happens to Saru.
And hey, that's fine. when I move on from a show, I move on. But that's just me personally, because I used to get super butthurt like a lot of those other fans out there. I used to be super obsessed with fandom, and that my opinion on fandom was the correct view, only to realize that that's not... It's correct in my world because my world's my business, but it's not correct for me to say that to other people. And so...
Yeah, that's exactly it, right? Like, your view on fandom is absolutely 100% correct for you, right? As soon as you start getting other people involved, hey man, everybody's got their own preferences.
Yep.
So don't get me wrong, I have no problem with Discovery existing. What I have a problem with is people who say, if you don't like Discovery, you're not a Trek fan.
Which is garbage. That's like me saying if you don't like the original series, you're not a Star Trek fan. The only thing you have to do with the original series, in my opinion, to consider yourself a Star Trek fan, is at least acknowledge it. That's why...
It's like classic rock, like, I have deep respect for Jimi Hendrix, but I'm not going to throw on one of his albums,
Yeah.
I liked playing, I got new perspective on the Beatles, playing Beatles Rock Band, which was a pretty badass, biopic video game.
Sick.
and that
actually
was
changed my perspective a lot.
yeah. But
Yeah.
I don't like listen to their music. Still,
No.
I will still take Pink Floyd over the Beatles any day of the week.
Oh, for sure.
And you know, I like Rush, and I like you know, I like other bands, but I'm not like a huge Elvis fan personally. It's not
You
for me.
respect for what he did.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
That's why I
Right.
call TOS Holy Star Trek. Now, it's obviously a different for certain people, like, you know, honorable shout out to Clobber and Times, which if you're not subscribed to his channel, you absolutely should. That man is a streaming legend and a streaming god.
He's blowing up.
I keep seeing his freaking notifications in my sound. I'm like, dude, where do you get the time? I'm impressed. Good for you.
Oh,
He,
man.
he exists in live stream only.
That's right. He is transcending existence. He will only be a YouTube and Facebook personality.
No, check out his social blade.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, no, he's earned all of it too. Like he's
Absolutely.
not buying bots
Hard
as
work.
far as I can tell, and it's
Lots of
fantastic.
hard
But
work.
anyway, he loves TOS. He says it's perfect. It's the best. I don't agree with him because to me it's got really great episodes. It's got some product of its time episodes. But
Yeah.
that's why I decided, you know what? When I rank my Star Trek, here's how it goes, okay? Top tier, DS9, Star Treks 1 through 6. Yes, 5 is amazing. Deal with it. And Enterprise. And that's like my top golden tier of Star Trek. TNG, it's just too episodic. If I'm not going to rewatch it as often as I'm going to rewatch DS9, and that's kind of the same with Voyager because it's, well, long and short of it, Voyager's kind of dumb. And if we really want to think about it, Star Trek based after the Voyager timeline with the time changes, it's all going to be silly regardless.
Yeah, I the way I like to explain it is Voyager in its entire run probably has a season and a half maybe of good episodes.
Well, and thanks to Alex Kurtzman, this is what I'm actually grateful for New Trek, is my Voyager rewatch is now 40 seconds long. Because yeah, somebody basically redid it to like, we're going to find a way home, and then it just gives Voyager the spore drive. So they just jump back to home, and I'm like, thank you, New Trek. I appreciate this. Now I don't have to watch Voyager anymore. And that really sucks because if they had done the DS9 model on Voyager, it probably would have rivaled DS9. It probably would have aged just as gracefully as DS9, which is aging as the best. But notice that I don't put TOS in any of that ranking. That's because TOS is wholly Star Trek. It's the beginning. It's the origins. It's the core. It's the same. Yeah, it's the same reason.
The Pentateuch.
Right. In a similar real-life reason, we can reference my, shirt and matching background here. It's the same reason why when you judge history, you got to be careful about to say you can't just write it all off as, the founding fathers were aristocratic slave owners. Yes, they were. And they failed to live up to their ideas. But those ideas that they started, those ideas that Star Trek tries to continue on from Gene Roddenberry's idea of a utopian vision in a free society where people could function freely but not necessarily rely on currency, those don't go away. And that's why I say TOS is wholly Star Trek, because it's about the ideas that inspired Season 1, Episode 1 of Strange New Worlds, that inspired Season 2, Episode 2 of Strange New Worlds, which we're about to get into here in a second. Those are the things that matter, and we would have none of it at all without the original series. So that's why you can't really say that the original series is ever bad. It's got corny and cheesy moments. It's got some stuff that's really hard to get through sometimes, at least for me, and especially younger, newer audiences that just can't get past the silly props.
Cardboard.
Yeah. But that said, if the cheese factor is something you enjoy in Strange New Worlds, you're gonna love TOS. And for a good reason. Just remember, like New Trek, it's just a product of its time.
Yeah.
That's it.
So, I think that just about covers all of our pop culture news. I know that we've got a lot to discuss with Strange New Worlds, but we also have another show that we've really been enjoying that's also worth everybody